Just finished watching episode 4 in season 1. These are my big takeaways. So the beginning of the episode starts with Victor leaving a storm shelter. It's Victor as a little boy, and throughout the episode, it jumps from Victor being a little boy to him being the adult that he is living in the colony house. The way that you know that it's Victor is because he has the same lunchbox. The thing that I noticed about that storm shelter is that storm shelter is the same shelter that Jade actually found that Civil War soldier in last episode. So when it jumps back to future times or present times, Victor is drawing a photo of Julie with his crayons, and he says he is remembering things that he thought were dreams. So that was an interesting aspect that I noticed. One thing I am curious about is how long has Victor been there for? Later in the episode, he mentions that he has been there the longest and that for a long time, no one else was there but Victor. So I'm curious as to how long he's been there, because the flashbacks are of Victor as a very young child. I would say like 8 or 9. And now he's like pushing like 50 or 60. So that means that this area has existed for years. The gal at the restaurant who is the waitress, her name is Sara, and we are introduced to her character a little bit more. The end of the episode actually is her taking Ethan into the back of the kitchen, and then after he goes and sits down, she is looking at him and she looks damn near possessed, and she has, her veins are like popping out. So, and after she does that, she ends up after her veins pop out, she ends up having a seizure. So, interesting fact that Sara is possessed by something. Going back to the beginning, after the whole scene with Victor and Julie, it goes to Jim and Ethan in the diner. And Jim was talking to Ethan, and he said, think of this whole experience as a vacation. And Ethan corrects him, and he says, it's like a quest. We probably have to save someone if we want to go home. That is important. So after they have that discussion, Jim ends up going to the bathroom, and Victor comes back inside the diner. And when Victor comes inside the diner, he alerts Ethan that the trees have moved. In the last episode, he was measuring to see how far the trees were away from the house. And he said that they moved 4 inches closer to the colony house. While Ethan and Jim are at the diner, Tabitha goes and looks for Julie, and Julie reveals that she knew that her parents were getting a divorce and that this was like the last hurrah. That's why they were on the RV, because this trip was going to be the last time that they were all together as like one single family. And so my theory from yesterday was that this could be like a parallel universe where everyone can make it right. Like all the things that they messed up in the previous reality, they can fix it in this reality. Kenny had said that he wanted to do right by his dad the second time. So I was thinking maybe that if this is a parallel universe, then the goal is for them to connect as a family. I'm not really quite sure, though, where all the dead people and the boy in white come into play for that, though. Except maybe they need to save that boy in white, which you'll learn in the future is maybe something. I'm still very confused about it. Kenny reveals to Jade that there is the map that shows that all of the different residents have not came from one singular location. They're all throughout the United States, which is interesting and slightly impossible that they all end up on this one road, even though they were all in other locations when they found the tree in the middle of the road. Victor tells Ethan that he thinks he has been chosen, just like Victor was chosen. And when they go out into the woods, they actually both see the boy in white together. And then these dogs appear. And when you start watching future episodes, or if you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. The dog barking almost reminded me of the way that boy in the future sees the cicadas. I can't think of that guy's name right now, but the cicadas and the dogs Like, where are they coming from? So that was an interesting thought. When Victor and Ethan are out in the woods, they come across a faraway tree. And Victor reveals to Ethan that there are numerous faraway trees. The thing about the faraway tree, though, is that it has a hole in it and you can go inside of it. The thing that is the catch-22, though, is that you do not know where you will go. So Victor ends up throwing a rock inside the tree, and the tree ends up having the rock fall from the sky, which is so bizarre. Victor tells Ethan that no one else was in Fromville for a very long time, and that Victor has been there the longest. It is revealed that Thomas died and that he is Ethan's little brother. So, and he died when he was a baby. So, the adult version of Thomas, which we seen when he ran into Julie, that is completely just random because he would actually be younger than Ethan, and Ethan is like 5 or 6. Autry explains that he got there before Boyd, and before Boyd was there, he was burying people every single day because Boyd is the one that found the talisman. And he also mentioned that he thinks Boyd will lead the people home. So the episode ends with Victor digging graves. And when Donna asked him what he's doing, he said, "I am getting a head start this time." I will now move on to episode 5.